My friend and I decided that we were going to go out. It was my first night that I went out dancing in Seattle. We found a babysitter for my daughter, and we went to a tavern in the U District called the Sandpiper. I noticed just a really good-looking man. He was sitting at the table by himself, and he said his name was Ted. I was flattered when he asked me to dance. Really had my eye on him all night, basically. We did dance, and then that was the end of it. So I was thinking maybe he was going to ask me again, but he didn't. And I went over and started talking to him. As a single mom, I never wanted to be bringing men home, but I was too drunk to drive, really. And I said, so will you spend the night here? And he said, yes. So I just laid down on the top of my bed without changing my clothes or anything. But he didn't try to kiss me or do any of that. When I got up in the morning, he had gotten Molly up, and he was fixing breakfast for both of us. And it just was like, oh my gosh. It just took my breath away, basically.
I was kidding when she came in. I said, what are you grinning about? You look so happy. She said, I met a guy last night, and oh, what a handsome-looking dude he was. And I said, oh, really? And she was telling me all about the manly jawline he had and how well-dressed he was. I said, well, what happened? She says, you know, I went over and I danced with him, and she said, you can't believe the enjoyment and the exhilaration of meeting somebody who reflected to me how I was feeling about him. This is the way she went on. And I said, what is this guy's name? And she said, Ted Bundy.
I have not had that with anyone else, where I just right off the bat felt connected to someone. It just felt like two pieces of a puzzle coming together, just fit. And it was really quite spectacular. I thought he was very funny, and he seemed very mature, and he seemed polished, and told me that he was a law student. So I thought, as a lawyer, he's certainly going to make a nice living and have these wonderful things that he wants. And since I was new to Seattle, he could hardly wait to show me his favorite restaurants. He had a favorite Asian rug store that we went to and look at all the Asian rugs and just things that I thought were just endearing. My daughter had a lot of friends in our neighborhood, and so Ted was really fun with them. He'd play with them. He'd get a hose, and they'd all get their little umbrellas, and they'd be in their swimming suits, and he'd make rain for them on the lawn, and of course the kids loved it. He taught my daughter how to ride her bike. She just really took to that.
Well, it's like it is with everybody's dad, teaching them to ride a bike. He ran along. Well, actually, let me start at this. He did not like it that I had training wheels on my bike. And so he took these wheels off my bike, and he would hold on to the back of it and run down the alleyway with me. And I would try to steer. And all of a sudden, he said something, and he was way at the other end of the alley. And I realized I'm riding this bike by myself, so I crashed into someone's garage promptly. I remember meeting him the first night when he came home with my mom to our house, and he read me my favorite book, which I had memorized. It was called Teddy Bear from Bumpkin Hollow. He would read along and he would say Freddy Bear, and I'd say not Freddy Bear, Teddy Bear, and just make it ridiculous, and I would laugh, and I thought he was delightful. If you look at any of these pictures, he's swinging me in circles head first to the ground, and he was always throwing me, hanging me upside down, and I trusted him 100%. I mean, he gave you his entire self. And, you know, for a kid, that's everything. For somebody to pay exquisite attention to your experience is what you're looking for. And I could see he lit my mom up like a woman in love. And that just made sense. We were like a family. That's what I remember.